If someone had told me that the man who once broke my heart would return with a suitcase full of money on my wedding day, I would never have believed them. But that was exactly what happened, and when I kissed the man I truly loved. Someone in the crowd gasped, someone cried, and one wealthy man finally realized that love can never be bought. This is my story. I grew up in a small African village where everyone knew each other. Life wasn't easy, but we had enough to smile. That's where I met Kofi. He was my best friend. We walked to school together, shared our lunches, and dreamed about the future beneath the giant mango tree near our homes. He always told me one thing: Amara, one day I'll become rich and I'll give you the best life in the world. Back then, I didn't care about riches. I only wanted someone who would love me forever. As the years passed, our friendship turned into love. Everyone believed we would marry. But after college, Kofi moved to the city to build his business empire. At first, he called every day, then every week, then once a month. Eventually, the calls stopped. Whenever I visited him, he was always too busy. Business meetings, luxury parties, foreign trips, expensive cars, designer suits, everything mattered more than spending time with me. One evening, after waiting 3 hours at a restaurant where we were supposed to have dinner together, he finally arrived. He didn't apologize. Instead, he handed me a diamond necklace. I know you're upset, he said, but this should make you smile. I looked at the necklace, then back at him. Kofi, I don't want diamonds. I want you. He laughed. You'll understand one day. No woman says no to luxury. That sentence broke something inside me. A few weeks later, I quietly ended our relationship. He didn't even try to stop me. Maybe he thought I would return, but I never did. Months passed. I focused on rebuilding my life. That's when I met Jabari. He wasn't the richest man. He wasn't famous. He owned a small cultural clothing business in town. Every morning he wore beautifully crafted navy blue agbada that reflected our traditions with pride. He treated everyone with kindness, whether you were wealthy or poor. He greeted you with the same warm smile. The first gift he ever gave me wasn't jewelry, it was a handmade journal. Inside the first page, he wrote, "Your dreams deserve to be remembered." For the first time in years, someone saw the real me. He listened when I spoke. He remembered the little things. He celebrated my victories. He comforted me during my failures. He never tried to impress me with money. He simply loved me. A year later, he asked me to marry him. I said yes without hesitation. Our wedding was planned in my hometown. Everyone wore beautiful African attire. Golden decorations reflected the evening sunlight. Traditional drummers welcomed every guest. The atmosphere was filled with laughter. I believed nothing could ruin the happiest day of my life. I was wrong. Just before the ceremony began, a convoy of luxury vehicles entered the venue. People turned to watch. The first vehicle stopped. Out stepped Kofi. He looked richer than ever. His black agbada was embroidered with gold. Two assistants followed him. One carried a large suitcase. The other carried dozens of red roses. Silence covered the entire celebration. Kofi walked straight toward me. Amara, I made a mistake. He opened the suitcase. Bundles of money filled it from top to bottom. People gasped. I'll give you all of this. I'll build you the biggest house. I'll buy you any car you want. You don't have to marry him. I can give you everything. I looked around. Many guests stared in disbelief. Then I looked at Jabari. He didn't interrupt. He didn't argue. He simply stood there, waiting for my decision. That told me everything I needed to know. Kofi had come to compete. Jabari had come to love. I slowly walked toward Kofi. The crowd became completely silent. For a moment, he smiled. Perhaps he believed he had won. Then I gently closed the suitcase. I looked into his eyes. Kofi, when we were young, I would have followed you anywhere. When I cried, I didn't need money. I needed your shoulder. When I celebrated, I didn't need expensive gifts. I needed your time. You kept trying to replace your presence with presents, and that's when I realized I had already lost you. Tears filled his eyes. I can change. I smiled sadly. I believe you can. But you're changing because you're afraid of losing me. Jabari loved me before he ever feared losing me. I turned around, walked back toward the altar. Jabari gently held my hands. Without saying a word, I kissed him. The crowd erupted into applause. Some guests wiped tears from their faces. Traditional singers began celebrating. Kofi stood completely still. The suitcase remained open at his feet. For the first time in his life, money had failed him. As our ceremony ended, something unexpected happened. Kofi quietly approached Jabari. Everyone assumed there would be another argument. Instead, he extended his hand. I'm sorry. I spent years believing success meant having more money than everyone else. But today, you taught me what true wealth really looks like. Jabari smiled warmly and shook his hand. Months later, I heard that Kofi had started using his fortune to build schools, sponsor young entrepreneurs, and support families who couldn't afford education. He finally discovered something his wealth had never been able to buy: purpose. Looking back now, I don't hate him. I never did. He simply learned one important lesson too late. Love doesn't grow where money is planted. Love grows where kindness, respect, trust, and time are given freely. If you're watching this today, remember this: the richest person in the room isn't always the one with the biggest bank account. Sometimes it's the one holding the hand of someone who truly loves them, and that is worth more than all the money in the world.